feeling lost, right? Who hasn't felt lost in their life? I'm sure everyone would raise their hand to say that they have, right? It's absolutely normal to feel uncertain, unsure, lost, depressed at times. And in a way, I feel like we always try to run away from that sensation. Like, do you have everything figured out? Do you have your life sorted out? Well, guess what? If we always have everything figured out, then we're not creating anything new, right? So, in a way, when I go into these phases, and I'm coming out of one right now, of these phases of being lost and unsure what I'm doing, it's like I'm starting a whole new life in a new country where I haven't lived in over 10 years, on my own, opening my own business and starting everything from scratch. And it's not an easy endeavor. It's only normal to feel lost, to feel confused, to feel like you're not supported by anyone, no one cares about you. And I want to address that because I've seen and I've felt a lot of people experiencing the same emotions. And there are two sides to this. One, it's absolutely normal to feel it. It's like you're creating something new. Hi mom, you're watching me, which is great. Like my mom right now, I'll give her an example. She's creating incredible new art. And the whole house is full of this art now because she's been creating for the last 2 years. And she hasn't figured out yet how to sell or even showcase it. And I'm sure it's causing her to feel really uncertain about, like, why in the world am I doing this and who am I doing this for? As much as I tell her how beautiful her art is, or someone else, like, she has to believe in that. The same thing goes for my business, let's say. Like, a lot of people tell me how incredible what I do is, but obviously, like, I go through these moments of completely doubting whether I should be doing this, if I'm going to be making enough money, and what is this all for, right? So I want to acknowledge that on the one hand, it's absolutely normal to feel this fear of rejection, uncertainty. But I also want to invite you, and this is by inviting you, I'm also encouraging myself, right, and kind of reassuring myself that it's okay to do this. It is okay to be lost. Actually, the universe was created from chaos, and when we embrace this chaos, we are actually in the process of creating something, right? So imagine when a child is constructing a Lego, like a castle from Lego. And then they're done with a castle and they want to create a tractor, right? Or a house. If they try to fix the castle that they have, they will never be able to create something new. So in order for them to create something new, they have to, destroy everything and take all the composing pieces and start constructing the new castle or the new creation completely from scratch without knowing what it's going to look like. And that's what, life gives us these moments all the time. And we always run away from them because we're so, in our society, it's so considered not okay to be lost, not okay to not have everything figured out, not okay to be uncertain of things. Like, oh, are you sure you want to live in Miami? I don't know. Like, right now, I'm sure, but it might change, and that's okay. And it's okay for me to be here and not know exactly what I'm doing before having decided to move here. It's okay for you to, quit your job if you're unsatisfied without knowing what you're going to be doing, if you're certain that's not what you want to do. What's not okay is to continue having everything figured out when you're unhappy about it. And that I see a lot in people in their relationships, in their jobs, in their lifestyle. Like they're absolutely exhausted, burnt out, unhappy, uninspired, and they keep carrying on this lifestyle. Why? Because of that security and because of the fear of going into something unexplored. And guess what? When you go into this uncharted, unexplored territory, it's frightening. And you go into these moments of complete despair and not knowing what you're doing and wanting to quit. It's absolutely normal. And then we come to phase 2, which is you can't stay in that uncertainty. You somehow, as you're creating something new, you have to have almost delusional sometimes an absolute certainty that what you're doing is right and that you're doing is your dream life and what you're doing is really important for other people. Because when you exude that certainty and that vibration of certainty, you are projecting that into the universe, and the universe sends you back the right people, the right resources, the right circumstances to construct this new life that you have envisioned. But first, you have to really vibrate that. You really have to vibrate that certainty and that knowing. And that's when it makes it so difficult, because necessarily you have to have two things happen. You have to deconstruct your old life completely. You have to really allow yourself to die as that old person if you're trying to create something new. Because like I said, you can't construct a new piece from something that's already constructed. You have to see all the pieces around you and say, this is what it's going to look like in this new situation. But you also, while you're deconstructing and starting to create, you have to be vibrating this certainty and being sure in yourself in almost a delusional way. Guess what? Why? It's no wonder that people like Donald Trump and, people like him succeed, because they believe in themselves beyond anyone's doubts or whatever. It's on a delusional level, correct? And yet, if we can tap into that, with real and beautiful endeavors that we feel without doubting ourselves like he does, we can get to where he was too. It really is about this unshakable and, knowing that your purpose is there inside of you and other people need it. So I wanted to show you how this really translates into everything in your life, into your relationships, into the career that you're building, into the health that you're trying to accomplish. All of these things start from you vibrating and resonating this new way of life that you are trying to construct. So let me give you an example. Let's say you are single and you're going on dates, right? And maybe you haven't dated in a long time, and maybe you are starting to do this for the first time in a long time. If you go into this experience unsure of yourself, you will start getting all these shaky and uncertain answers from this man and that man, and people canceling on you, and all of these happening. You might not find anyone, and you might create this point of view that, I'm not attractive enough, I'm old, no one wants me, and this and that. But in reality, you had created that vibration in the first place to create that repellent on the other side. It all starts from you. On the other hand, if you go in with certainty and knowing when to say yes, when to say no, and what you really want, and really just exuding that confidence, you're going to get the very things that you need, right? The right man, taking you to the right places or whatever, the right women, it doesn't matter. So that goes for relationship, that goes for your endeavors. Let's say you've decided to create a business and you're really not sure where to start. But if you have that clear vision and you send that message to the universe, I really want to be a school teacher, or I really want to be a creator of this new method, what I'm doing. My mom that was just watching, I really want to become this artist of this new unique art. And you really believe that that's really what you want to do and that people really need that, then you would be surprised. The universe will start sending you the right people. You will find that right school that hires you for, maybe as a substitute teacher. You will find that studio that's willing to host your art for a couple of, hours a month. Whatever it is, it's a combination of really letting go of that past point of view that you couldn't be an artist or you couldn't be a teacher or you couldn't be a business owner. Then really embracing that vision of who you want to become, and then from that moment really sending the message to the universe saying, this is what I want to do, and yes, I'm 100% sure of it, and not keep going back and forth like I do sometimes. Like I'll be like, yeah, I'm starting this business in Miami, and then I'm like, oh my God, what if it doesn't work out, and what if I don't make enough money? And there's this clear correlation. I've drawn the chart literally. Like when I have that confidence, doors just open and people somehow just deposit money in my account, and somehow like this person appears that has a studio where I can host it. But the moment I start doubting, things turn around, and all of a sudden the studio is not available anymore, the money starts disappearing, and all of that stuff happens, and then the guys don't call you anymore. So it's not a coincidence, it's a vibration. So believing in yourself is key, but that believing in yourself necessarily happens after allowing yourself to be completely lost. Does that make sense? Like that feeling of being lost is almost essential for you, because it's that moment where you have said goodbye to that certainty of your past life that was giving you this false security. Whether you were in a comfortable relationship but you weren't happy, or you were in a career that wasn't really right for you, making a lot of money, but that money was keeping you stuck in a reality that you didn't want. Like that's a false security. I call it false security because it keeps you secure, but in something that's not your life. And so it's really, really important to embrace breaking that and destroying that, because it's only then that you will see what are the possibilities in front of you. Safely creating a completely new life is almost impossible. It's like an oxymoron. So you have to really be willing to go from that safe space to the space of complete being lost. And that's why, they have all these myths of the goddesses going in underground to really find the pieces of her soulmate to bring him back. Those are all symbolic messages that we all have to go to the underworld and allow ourselves to die, to then construct a new life, a new reality for ourselves. So that's kind of the message. I've been feeling it a lot. Believe me, it's not easy. It's not a linear journey. You don't start here, I'm going to create a new life, and then you're here all of a sudden. It's a process that happens on a daily basis, and you're constantly allowed, and you are supposed to actually, that's why we have the night and the day. At night, you're supposed to really destroy the life that you had before and recreate it from scratch every morning. And not in a negative way, but really in this way of like, I'm given the present moment today. What is this present moment? What is it vibrating? What does it have in it for me? What are the opportunities that I haven't seen yet? What are the incredible people that I will meet, the incredible opportunities that I will find on my journey? and going out there with this complete trust and openness. That's another thing that's part of this faith. It's the openness. So even though you're slightly delusional in believing your way of creating the business, or your way of being the teacher, your way of being the artist, you also have to be open to the universe giving you the gifts in the way that it finds appropriate. So if you have in your mind that, let's say, like, I'm going to set up a business, and you have a vision for it, but somehow someone comes in and says, here, I'm going to give you this amount of money and you can do this in a slightly different way, you're not going to immediately say no. You're going to open yourself up to that and see if that's something that resonates with you, even though you hadn't thought of it. So being open is extremely important. And I see this also in relationships. Like, people have this really clear vision of what their, future, the picture perfect prince is going to look like. And he has to be blonde, tall, or dark, and whatever, intelligent, has to study astrology, whatever. Like, and then immediately when you meet someone, you have judged them already, that they're not this way, that way, or another way, and you're completely not open to this new being that could be your soulmate. It could be someone that's you will find that's much more compatible with you than what you imagined. Because we have to also understand that we don't know everything. An amazing teacher and guru once said that you don't know, and that's kind of the key phrase that he kept saying in the class, like, just all you know is that you don't know. and we always have to go in life with that. We never know, you have the vision, but you can't know for sure how you're going to create this vision. How are you going to construct it? You have to allow the universe to help you co-create it. That's the process of co-creation that everyone talks about. You put out your intention. I really want this and I really believe in this, but you're open to receiving the gifts from the universe in the way that it seems fit for your business to open, or for your vision to be made possible. And this openness involves being aware at all times, because you don't know where this gift is going to come from. You might be talking to a street person, and if you don't talk to that person, you might miss this incredible opportunity that he had for you. There's this really powerful experiment that once was done by a really famous musician who charges like $300, $400 a ticket, and people pay all that money to listen to him. And he was in Washington, D.C., outside of the metro, playing the same instrument in the same way, and no one, literally, there were just literally a couple of people in the entire day who stopped to listen to him. So it's the lack of awareness. And it's like, when we pay that amount of money and we go to the theater and we know this person important, then we pay attention. But when we don't have all those parameters met, we simply just ignore this incredible musician that's standing in front of us, or this incredible gift that the universe is sending us. And sorry, airplanes fly here all the time. And so what happens is we miss like 90% of the opportunities, sometimes even more, that we are given in life to do and to live the life that we have dreamed of living. And so I'm just going to summarize again the whole journey so that it's like a roadmap, because this is the way I've been living my life, and it's just been a magical journey, really beyond belief. And every step I take, I really get in awe of how these coincidences, which are actually the synchronicity, can happen when you're really aligned with your true dream and with your true self and your authentic self. So it starts with step one, really saying no to what doesn't work for you. You look at the life that you're living currently and you simply outline what has not worked for you so far. You say this, and that does not vibrate with me. This is not mine. This is not the life that I want to be living. The world that we're living in is not in a state that we want. The wars that we're seeing are not supposed to be happening. Whatever it is that you don't find aligned with, you say a big and loud no, resounding no to it. And then when you do that, for a phase, you're going to be completely lost if you have been living that life for a while. But that's where you really have to allow yourself to be lost. So if you're coming out of a relationship that wasn't working, you will find yourself in a limbo and in this like, my God, what do I do without this person that I've lived with for so many years, or without the security of this job that was paying me well and gave me the prestige and the security of going to work every day. You will feel the limbo. But you have to embrace that, because constructing the new reality that's aligned with who you are requires that phase of allowing your old self to die. And it's not really just the circumstances, getting rid of the relationship or the career that doesn't work. It's actually not the other person. It's inside of you. You have to allow to die those aspects of you that were allowing for you to be putting yourself down in a relationship, or not really going after your highest potential at work. It wasn't really that work that was, making you do things. It was you who was allowing it, right? So in a way, you have to allow those aspects of you to really wither down and say, I'm not going to take a no for who I am, for the things that I'm not going to, or actually, let's phrase it the other way. I'm always going to say yes to the things that I truly believe in. And I will not allow any circumstances to define who I am. But it really has to come from you, not from the other. Your partner will never change, and your job will never change to accommodate for the things that you want. You have to change first. And sometimes it's not really ending that relationship or ending that career. It's you changing, transforming, and that transformation shifts the energies around you, and then all of a sudden you're having a completely different relationship. But that's very, very difficult for most of us to do. So that was the phase one, letting go, allowing the limbo to settle in for a while, and really embracing it as a phase where you are in creative chaos, right? When the universe was still in a chaos, before light was created, there had to be chaos. And then when light is created, it's, at first there was the word, right, before the light was created. And this is not like a religious thing necessarily, but you have to believe in the power of your thought. So when you vibrate, and it takes time, in that limbo where you define what is it that you vibrate with, what is your authentic self really wants, and you create this powerful new you, this powerful new reality that you want, you really, really have to have full faith in it. You have to utter those and it's not just affirmations, it's like Tony Robbins calls them incantations, right? It's something that you really, really, really believe in it. Because if you stand in front of the mirror and tell yourself, I am gonna get the most amazing guy that's gonna treasure me as a princess, whatever it is that you want, right? It's not going to happen if you don't believe it. So you really have to believe what you're saying. So believing that, resonating that for a while. So creating that reality in your aura, in your energetic field before it gets projected into the reality is absolutely the key. And again, it's not a linear phase. So if you are here in the limbo and then you get into the phase of knowing for sure that this is what you're doing, sometimes you will go back and forth between phases. You will go back to the limbo and then you'll come back out. But it'll be easier for you to come back out because you already know what it's like to believe in yourself. And then the final phase of manifesting, again, it's not a linear phase. You manifest certain aspects of what it is that you wanted to, what your dream life was supposed to be like. But sometimes you will go back to the limbo, and that's okay. It's really finding how to always come back to that place of, I know what I deserve and I know what I desire the most, and being aligned with it fully, even through the moments of that limbo and of that uncertainty. So that's my wisdom for today. And I wanted to thank you for watching, and also invite you to something that I've designed specifically with this in mind, with the new you creation in mind. And that's my New You course, which is a 6-week transformational journey that's really about deconstructing the reality that you have now, or some aspects of it, and creating the new reality. And we do that through really integrating the mind and body, because I don't believe that you can shift things just by transforming your mind, or just by changing your habits and doing things in the body. It has to be a really joint transformation. Whatever your mind shift has done, like this is the new Bella that I want to create, and the new Bella necessarily during the day will do this, and that, because it's aligned with who I am. So if you decide that you want to become a bodybuilder, right? I mean, like this stupid example, and you are laying down on your couch and eating potatoes every day, you're not, it's like you're not aligning who you've decided to become with what you want to do. And we always do this. We have these ideas about what we want to accomplish in life, but yet what we do day in, day out doesn't reflect that. So really prioritizing what are the habits that reflect this new me is the key to creating the life that you want. It might sound obvious, and that's why, it's really nothing majorly, there's like not this new wisdom that I share, but it's really uniting our forces, sitting together and committing to this transformation, whatever the aspect that you're trying to transform, whether it's your relationship, your health, your career, it doesn't matter. But when you put the energies together and you make that commitment, and then you start looking at these aspects like, oh my God, yeah, I am doing this sabotaging behavior every day, and it's keeping me from reaching the goals and the places that I want to reach, then all of a sudden the mind shifts. And the same thing goes for the other way around. Like you might be, very determined and doing the things that you want to do every day, but in your mind you don't believe you can get there. And that will keep you from getting to your dream life 100%, because your mind is 50, if not more percent of the creation process that you really want to accomplish. So again, if you're feeling lost, confused, uncertain of where you want to be, or you've already started this journey of, I don't want to live the life that I was living and I want to start a new one, you are on the right road. And I know you need help, everyone needs help. I need help. I have people who help me all the time. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do it. So I want to be that help for you as well. So this certain program will start on May 10th and last for 6 weeks. So please consider joining. And then I will keep you posted in other events, or if you need one-on-one, more in-depth processing of what you're going through, I'm available for that as well. Thank you. Namaste. Thanks for watching, and sending you a warm hug from sunny Miami.